Notwithstanding the lack of a Grey Ghost reference, last week's episode kicked ass. In order for a Poison Ivy episode to equal it, it's going to have to be pretty good. Welcome to the heart of the stories we tell. My name is Rob, and tonight I will be reviewing A Beautiful Darkness, episode 13 of season 4 of Gotham. And we are well on our way into the darkest part of the night. But of course, dawn comes sooner or later. Now, there's a lot to go through. We deal with Wayne Tech specifically this week, and that's always one of my favorite topics to deal with. Even if we don't get to see full-on Batman, we get to see a lot of the stuff that leads up to Batman. And of course, we still have all the Gordon stuff going on. But before I get into that, what I do here is I review stories as they come up, and Throwback Thursdays almost every Thursday. And then I take the stories apart and figure out why and how we tell stories, and every Sunday put up a theory video of storytelling. If that sounds interesting, click the subscribe button to hear my inane chatter. So, I've been saying for a while now that the shadow of Ra's al Ghul is still over the city. I'm still not sure exactly what they were doing with this whole Dawn of Night thing, but from what I can see, they've gone out of their way to break up all of the main partners in order to keep everyone a little separate. Tonight, Selina no different, but I still hope that Bullock plays a big role, even if he's not being the go-to cop. Right now, though, I'm very curious to see what Fox's relationship is with Bruce, because that's going to come up a lot tonight. Let's get started. So once again, it's stop. Spoiler time. As much as we could start with Catwoman, I think we're going to start with the question, what is Project M? I love the fact that they kind of drop hints here and there, and that it's connected to Arkham and it's connected to Wayne Tech, and obviously Fox knows something about it. I also love the fact that Ivy tricks Selina into helping her get the information, because, well, yeah, complicated. But Ivy comes in, and Bruce is all like, yeah, party's over, and she's like, no, I wasn't at the party, and he doesn't even remember, because that's how much of a playboy douche he's being right now. He doesn't remember who was and wasn't at the party. And again, like I said last week, and I've been saying for a while, that is building up the personality of Bruce Wayne in such a way that allows for later use. But then again, I also have to say, I think it's a little BS leaving him as the cliffhanger for the first commercial break. Does anyone think Batman's dying before he becomes Batman? However, I will admit that having the psychedelic trip added to the deathly spores does allow for Bruce to maybe come to his senses. It's been a while since we've seen the Bruce that I'd really like to see, the Bruce that could one day become the Batman. Of course, we have lots of other heroes going around in this. Lucius, Alfred, and Gordon are all out there doing their best, and Lucius knows all about Project M. So, of course, that means that Ivy needs to get him. But Gordon has Selina. Now, I just want to take a slight break here and say that I love the actress that's playing Selina. She is perfect for the role. And I love the way that she interacts with Gordon. I would love to see them partner more often. And since it's International Women's Day, let's appreciate the fact that she is still a little too young to be the sexy Catwoman, but she can still be the badass Catwoman, even though she didn't make the jump. I think the adult Catwoman would have known better than to try, though. I do have to say, though, the scene when they're in Lucius's morgue and they have to convince the rest of the cops that they're in love with Ivy, too, was pretty hysterical. You're not really selling it. Oh, and you thought you did. Alright, so, Cat and Gordon, totally awesome. But there's a subplot going on that I want to talk about, too. Well, two that kind of intermix. Over at Arkham Asylum, the Penguin's been incarcerated for weeks now, and if you remember the mid-season break, we saw the fact that he's sitting next door to the Joker. Well, to quasi-pre-Joker? I don't know, whatever. Arkham Asylum's pretty weird, because Joker's already running the place, and already has guards doing what he wants, and, well, okay, it's Joker, so that's fine. What we see, though, is that he's torturing Penguin, and he's doing it specifically to bring out what he's calling fun, but I think what he really wants is an ally. Someone that's an equal, just as crazy as he is. Someone that's capable of coming up with what they need, namely an escape plan. Ironically enough, these two are probably quintessential Batman villains, but they're going to get help from an extra one. Because when Riddler comes to visit the Penguin, he leaves him a little clue, and that alone is enough to spark Penguin going nuts, and I have to say, that nuts was pretty nuts. The whole mime fight, the fact that Joker was laughing through the whole thing, it was actually a really great look inside the psyche of the craziness that is Arkham Asylum. But I do wonder exactly what Riddler's play is by leaving that note for him. And does he realize that the inmates are in charge of the asylum? Meanwhile, while all that is happening, Bruce Wayne is dying on the floor and having an hallucination. And she was there, and she was there, and he was there. Oh yeah, and Batman was there. I loved the voice modulation. I especially loved the coming apart as Bat. But I think the best was when Bruce said, "You're me." The realization. Gotham's in a lot of trouble. It needs a hero. It needs a new knight. A dark knight. I don't know if this will be the final push Bruce finally needs to actually take up the beginning of this mantle or not. Whether he's going to buckle down and be a vigilante soon. But it's kind of funny that for all my complaints about, in its own funny way, the entire season up till now has been about people going on walkabouts to find themselves. And that's actually pretty ironic because all my complaints about Ivy really did go through the metamorphosis of walking until she found herself. And Penguin's doing it now, and Riddler, and Dr. Tompkins, and even the Riddler, who's in the middle of having a little bit of an existential crisis. But Gordon, everyone really, is finding out who they really are. And Bruce, finding out that he really is Batman and now calling Alfred for help, is where we are now. And I'm curious to see where we go next with this. How about you? Let me know what you thought about tonight's episode of Gotham down in the comment section, and maybe we'll talk about it next week. It looks like we're going to be in for a Batman Begins, Alfred being a little bit of a pain, but we'll see. And of course, more Ivy and Joker. But do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button if you liked this video, and of course, click that subscribe button because I'm trying to build a community here. One where we can talk about why we tell stories and how we tell stories. And I'm betting before the end of this season, we're going to have a lot to talk about when it comes to how we think about the psyche of our heroes and our villains. Because I think that's what we're really digging into here, as we get to the heart of Batman, as we walk through the heart of the stories we tell. Thanks for watching.